back with more Teen Wolf. This is episode 11 of season 1, the penultimate episode of the season. So I'm expecting shit to hit the fan. And yeah, things are kind of really kicking off already. So I imagine this is just going to be an even further escalation of it. Kate's kidnapped Derek. Not ideal. Peter's making all sorts of moves to try and get his plan to work. Scott got shot, but he was rescued by the vet man, so hopefully we'll learn a lot more about what's going on with that. And yeah, Jackson's being Jackson. And the Stalinskys are being wholesome and sweet, and I hope nothing bad happens to them. So yeah, that's that basically. And obviously Allison is now a bit more aware of what her family does and what's going on with that, so I'm guessing that's going to be a bit of focus in this one as well. I'm very excited to see how we're going to start wrapping up this season and where it's all been building towards. So yeah, I'm pretty excited as always, so let's just get into the episode.
This is a joke to you?
Sweetheart, there are werewolves running around in the world. Everything's a joke to me. How else do you think I stay sane?
So,
I mean, there's a logic to that.
I didn't realize it.
Oh no. Okay, alright,
This is not me.
I'm sorry, but we're closed.
I thought it was going to be
Hi
in.
there. I'm here to pick up.
Do you have some wolf spray?
Mountain ash.
Wolf spray. I like that the vet's a badass.
And I'm not letting him die. Could you at least think about letting him die? For me.
Giving you a call. That always sounds really weird because of my last name, McCall. So, yeah.
She okay? What's she doing?
I think she's lonely.
Crying.
I would die for all the parents. Just all of them. Actually, no, not Allison's parents.
Protect everyone.
Why don't you smile more? Don't you just want to kick those people in the face?
He wants to kick someone in the face.
Fun.
Yeah.
Promise?
No.
Remember all the fun we had together?
At the time you burned my family alive?
No, I was thinking more about the hot, crazy sex we had.
Oh.
But the fire thing, that was fun too.
I kind of got the vibe that there was a thing with them. Oh, okay, now. That's just invasive, isn't it?
What do you mean I can't go to the formal?
Call your family, my class, and 2 others.
Oh.
They told me to cut you from the team. And if you show up at the dance, and I see you there, I'm gonna drag you out by your teeth.
They can get pretty big.
Screw you. You know what? Screw you too. In fact, screw each other.
Hey, you know he saved your life.
There's probably fanfics about that.
He left me for dead.
I got shot for you. You can't tell me that you didn't get to know her and like her.
It's true.
Allison.
What if I get hurt?
Then I throw a
That's
party.
me.
Yes. Threaten him. About goddamn time.
What time should I pick you up for the dance tomorrow?
You're gonna ride your bike to a dance that you're not even allowed to go to without a date, a suit, or a way in with werewolves and werewolf hunters. I'll have to kick your little werewolf ass. Yeah. You gonna help me? Hell yeah.
Ah.
You're going to go with somebody else. Who? Him.
Oh my god.
So, are you just gonna try these on right now? All of them?
Oh. Good.
I mean, you can't call skin like yours pale. Not skin that perfect.
Stop talking about skin.
Okay. Say hi to your sister for me.
Wow.
You didn't tell her about me, did you? The truth about the fire? handsome young werewolf mistakenly falls in love with a super hot girl who comes from a family that kills the werewolves. You are inadvertently helping me tag down the rest of the pack again.
Oh,
Or just
boy.
a little bit of history repeating. It's not Jackson, is it? Oh, no. He's got a little scratch on the back of his neck, but he's not in love with Allison. Not like Scott.
Oh, shit. I wish she wasn't so charismatic, because she's not very nice, really, but I still quite like her.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I can buy new ones.
Have you told her how you feel?
She knows.
Come on, she knows. She knows? Tell her the truth. Tell her anything and everything you want.
Everything.
Right, I love you in a giant web, like Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You want to do tonight sober?
I wouldn't mind remembering some of it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind forgetting all of it.
Charming. Oh my god. I like now they're both kind of having to pretend to be normal teenagers.
Look handsome.
Obviously. It's Hugo Boss.
I don't care. I don't want compliments.
Well, I think you look beautiful.
Really?
I ship it. I ship it. Oh. How did you get in? Oh, you didn't.
You want to dance? Lydia, I've had a crush on you since the 3rd grade. And I know that somewhere inside that cold, lifeless exterior, there's an actual human soul.
Good start.
And I'm the only one who knows how smart you really are. Uh-huh. And that once you're done pretending being a nitwit, you'll eventually go off and write some insane mathematical theorem that wins you the Nobel Prize.
It's probably true.
I feel it's right off the way on you, Benny.
I see you!
Uh-oh. You're gonna have to kill him, Scott. It's the only way.
Dance with me? No. Please. Right now. Come on.
Quite the cover.
You're not supposed to.
Yes, Coach?
Oh my god.
Okay. I was just saying he was not supposed to. I mean, I wasn't saying that he shouldn't.
Oh,
You guys
wow.
I was just dance, everybody. Just dance.
Are they reconnecting because it's nearly the end of the season, or because some shit's gonna go down? I'm guessing some shit's gonna go down. Uh-oh. Are you the shit that's gonna go down?
You can.
Just need to take a little break.
You mean you need to go find Jackson? You can.
Aw, Styles.
I know he's here.
Wow. Every single decision he makes is wrong.
I want to be one of you.
No.
Unfortunately, Jackson, I don't think I can give you what you want.
My arm fell asleep with your head on it. Pins and needles starting to hurt.
Okay. Shut up.
I want them to cut to the coach being like, "You son of a bitch!"
You promise you won't hurt him.
Of course not. He's just a kid.
Oh boy. Jackson suddenly cares
Back
that
to the dance.
Scott might get hurt now. Hey.
With your friend.
Why did you do that?
Because I love you.
Oh boy. The happiness is about to be taken away. Oh shit, oh no, what's gonna happen to you?
Jackson!
Uh-oh. Oh, what fake teeth you have. Fucking hell.
I think he took Scott's phone. You
Ah.
have GPS now. So if he still has it, and if it's still on, you can find it.
You okay?
Oh no. Your dreams are going to come true, is it? Oh, you probably just caught so many diseases. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm going to force his hand. You're going to be Wolfie. Oh, you're Wolfie. He's a teen wolf. Shit. Okay, that was a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed that one. I think that's one of my favourites we've had this season. Just because you're getting that sense that everything's kind of really building up to something quite crazy. I would assume now that Allison, knows about Scott. How's she going to react to that? How are they going to deal with Peter? And what's happened to Lydia? Is Jackson going to be more of a fucking idiot? Probably. All those questions and more to be answered in the next one, I would assume. And on top of that, setting up a second season. I guess. I don't know if they were renewed by this point. Maybe. I didn't follow the show back then, so I don't know how early a renewal came or anything. Either way, I really enjoy the fact that they're kind of... the idea of, like, the teen wolf pretending to be... a normal teenager. I like that, that's kind of the core obstacle that Scott has to face in day-to-day kind of life. But I guess the philosophy of that in a way, or like the idea of that, applies to more than just him as a character, because Allison's very much in that boat now. Kate was telling her, be a normal kid, just be a normal teenager, go to a dance, all of that. And Allison's trying to kind of remind herself of that now that she's kind of involved in this world. And I guess a lot of people kind of following suit with that. Lydia, in an extent, like Styles was kind of saying, she pretends to be a lot dumber than she actually is. So she's kind of hiding an aspect of herself and her identity to kind of get through life in the way that she feels is necessary right now. So I like that. That's kind of similar. And then I think why Jackson stands out like a sore thumb is that he actively wants the opposite. He's trying to pursue, becoming a werewolf. And he wants to stop being a normal kid because he doesn't think that's enough for him, because he needs to stand out and be impressive to people because he's, very insecure about himself. Sadly, that does make him a bloody idiot, making all the wrong decisions. I do think Jackson's kind of a bit inconsistently written in terms of that. It does seem like, he does genuinely care for Allison because he was being, overly caring about him, overly romantic with her, even when Scott wasn't around. He didn't need to be. He could have just been, as friendly as he needed to be, but it was overly so. And then Scott's kind of saying, oh, come on, you obviously care about her, it's Allison. And then he's still very nonchalant with her at the dance anyway, but do I have to dance with you? Fine. And all of that. And then doesn't give a shit about Scott. Potentially sabotaged the cocktail he had a few episodes back. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. Maybe he just got confused. Threatening him to you need to transform me and all of that. Completely disregarding the fact that he saved his life in the last episode. And then he's like, you won't hurt Scott, will you? When he spills the beans entirely to Chris. Yes, he's drunk and not thinking straight. But why do you suddenly care? It's like, do you really care all along? Because your behaviour hasn't kind of shown that. So I don't think they've really... I think they just mold Jackson to whatever the plot maybe requires him to be personality-wise. I think everyone else has been pretty consistent in terms of their characterization, but Jackson's been very inconsistent. And he just does what the plot requires him to do as a character, I think, at this point. So hopefully that's something that they can knuckle down and fix. And like, okay, this is who Jackson is. This is what he thinks of this person, this person, this person. And then develop it from there if you want to. But they're just kind of making him be everything all at once. And I think that's just kind of making it a bit frustrating to watch him right now. Even though you can understand some of his actions, I do think they've kind of haven't knuckled down exactly how they want him to be all the time. I guess teenagers be crazy, so they are a bit inconsistent like that, but because everyone else is kind of very stable and grounded in their characterization at this point, it does stand out a bit more. So I'm hoping, you know, whatever they end up doing with Jackson's character, what happens to him in the finale and stuff, I hope it really sets him down a clear like path for his character. And like obviously they can change and develop his character as time goes on, and I'm sure they will. But yeah, I think that needs to be addressed. That's like my one issue I think with this episode. Like really highlights that I don't think Jackson's been particularly well consistently written, for sure. Well written, yes, but not consistently. So yeah, there's that. And he's just being a bloody idiot. But I guess they just needed some way of Chris finding out that Scott was the beta or was the wolf. Even though, you know, Kate could have just said, by the way, it's Scott, and called him. Because by that point she kind of got the information she probably really wanted from Derek. So it would have been fine, like, okay, this is where I am, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I guess they want to keep Jackson kind of front and centre as well, because he is a main character, and I guess Kate's not. She's like a secondary character. So maybe it's because of that. Either way, you know, the idea of like everyone having this part of themselves that they hide, I like that, you know, it's not just Scott who's kind of going through that in the sense of being a werewolf and stuff. So I think that's really cleverly done, how that's layered to lots of different characters. I really enjoyed the focus on Allison in this one, and her reactions to finding out. I mean, all things considered, she handled it bloody well, like the idea of werewolves. And I thought it was cool to kind of have her know that they exist, and then it's a separate thing that Scott's one. You know, that's the big deal. It's not like, oh my god, you're a werewolf, and oh my god, werewolves exist. She already had that first one ticked off. So I like that it wasn't like piled on in a way. I think that was very well structured in terms of believability for her to be able to stomach all these revelations at once. So I like that they've kind of scaled them a bit. So she was aware of like werewolves being a thing at the start of the episode before that revelation with Scott. So that was all very well and good. And I like her trying to lean into more so, this is who I am, this is who I want to be again. You know, kind of deciding who you're going to be at this point. I think that's kind of a big theme that this show's going to go for with its characters. Because there's so many options at this point. There's multiple choice. You know, who do you want to be? So I like her kind of pushing to that, and you know, getting back into archery and everything. I'm really excited to see what her arc is going to be, particularly now that she knows about Scott and they kind of were just reconnecting. Is this going to be another Barry all over again? Maybe. How's she going to react to like her dad trying to kill Scott there and everything? We shall see, but it's going to be a big deal for the Argents to deal with all of this as well, and Allison's very much involved in it. I assume Chris knew that Allison was in that bus, and he's just like, well, I don't give a shit about informing her anymore. Damage has been done, even though he probably didn't know that Kate told her everything. But still, I guess they can clarify that in the next one. But yeah, kind of a decent way of kind of getting all the cards on the table, with Chris overhearing Jackson being like, oh, I want to be transformed, so he knew that he wasn't a werewolf or anything. And then yeah, Derek is straight up not having a good time right now, but I did like that Styles thinks, and probably is correct, and Derek took Scott's phone in the last episode so that he could be tracked now, so he had this escape plan. So, you know, on the surface level, Derek's obviously got a plan in motion. He's kind of got multiple layers to what he's trying to do, because it does seem weird for him to just be on Peter's side. So the fact that they're kind of hinting like Derek's got a long-term plan here, and he's got a lot of this stuff figured out. Makes me think he probably is ultimately like he's going to turn against Peter, and he's not really on his side and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that, and the history between him and Kate. I don't know why I got the vibe like they could have been a thing, or they could be a thing potentially one day. Maybe it's just the chemistry between the actors when they've interacted in the past, but it was a thing, and Kate kind of tricked him then into, exposing who the rest of the pack were, and it seems to be happening all over again now. And I liked that, the whole idea of history repeating itself. That made her realise that it was Scott who was the werewolf, not Jackson, because he was in love with Allison. I like that idea. I thought that was a really clever way of, kind of an untraditional way, in a sense, of someone kind of figuring it out. I thought that was really clever. And because the Argent family seems so steeped in history repeating itself and all of them becoming hunters and stuff, it's almost like a religion to her, almost. Like, oh, that's definitely going to be the case then. Obviously, she's right. So I liked how she pieced that together. I thought that was really well done. And again, I wish I didn't like Kate as much as I do. I think the actress is just really great in that part. I think it really suits her. Because she was there, torturing Derek, sexually assaulting Derek, mocking Derek, doing some not so great things. But also I'm like, she's pretty cool though. So I do like that they're not afraid to be morally grey with these characters. I think that's really cool. And Kate's a great example of that. And then yeah, Peter's still just being a bit of a chaotic mess, so I am intrigued to see where they're going to go with him in the next one. I imagine we're going to deal with him properly, or maybe he's the main villain of the entire show. I don't know. Maybe it's a redemption coming for him somehow. I don't know why he would be now that he is like transformed into the Alpha. Can he de-evolve from that? I'm not sure. I hope they do get a lot more focus into a bit of his backstory and stuff in the next one, because I still don't feel entirely clear on it. But we got a few pieces in this one, like with what Kate was telling the audience through Derek. So maybe there's more to that story to come as well. But yeah, he just spent the episode creeping on a bunch of teenagers, basically, didn't he? Being a bit weird. And yeah, him attacking Lydia then, though. Bloody brutal. But I liked that Lydia had a bit more of a substantial thing to do in this one as well. Hopefully she's alright. Because they finally give her something to do, and then she's mauled, which isn't ideal. But yeah, I liked her kind of, I guess, respecting Styles in a way for him recognising, what she is and what she's kind of doing, like pretending to be dumber than she actually is. And I think there's a little connection there between the two. Obviously, she's still very much into Jackson right now. She's not over that relationship. Maybe they are just going to reconnect. Who knows? So she's certainly not in a place where she reciprocates anything Styles feels for her. But the fact that they're acknowledging that, and they are kind of giving and pairing them up in this episode, which I really, really enjoyed, gives me hope that that is a connection that's going to be further explored a bit more. Again, I think I've mentioned in the past, I know like Stydia is like a big ship in the show. I don't know if it actually happens. I don't know if it's just like a pairing that people enjoy that, never came to fruition, like a lot of other shows I can think of. But I can really see it. I really like the chemistry between the two of them. I think they balance each other out really well. And I like that Styles kind of got his chance. And even though Allison kind of orchestrated it, which was very nice of her, to get Lydia to go with Styles to the formal, I think she ended up having a decent time with him. But it's just, still very recent breakup with Jackson. She's worrying about him and stuff. So, I don't think the time's quite right for them. They haven't finished cooking, I guess, is the metaphor to use there. But I think something may be getting started, which I really like. And I did enjoy Styles kind of getting his moment and understanding when she was like, I need to find Jackson, because he's just the best. I adore him. Would die for Styles. So yeah, he has some great moments in this one as well. I liked him kind of, showing that he's also smarter than I think he lets on, in deducing like how you could potentially find Derek, and giving him up to save Lydia's life, hopefully, as well. So that was fun. Speaking of standing up to Peter, the vet guy, I keep forgetting his name, but badass. I really like that he's very much in the know, and he had all this, preventative measures set up so that Peter couldn't attack him. I do wish we'd explored more, like how much he knows, why he knows it, how long that's been a thing that he's been involved with. But I'm sure the time will come for that. I was expecting it in this one, but I guess not quite yet. But we did get a really badass scene where he kind of told Peter to piss off, which I very much enjoyed. So that was cool. And again, it's another ally for Scott, hopefully. And I enjoyed Scott kind of taking his mother's advice to kind of just tell Allison how he feels and just be open and honest about that, sneaking into the formal even though he wasn't supposed to go. I think I have mentioned it before. You know, I think the protagonist of a show is very rarely my favourite character, but I do think Scott is one of my favourite protagonists. In terms of like, if I was to list my favourite characters, I think Scott is higher up in that list than a lot of protagonists of other shows would otherwise be. So I think that's quite successful in a way, and I did enjoy everything with him in this one. And now that, you know, he's kind of had his hand forced, how he's going to respond to this. The moment when he overhears his mum crying is so sad, and I really like his mum as well. She was great in this one, kind of encouraging him to pursue Allison and like be honest. And I think she just seems quite lonely, in the same way Styles' dad. You know, he was lonely in the last one, kind of being like, oh, I miss your mother and everything. So all the adults, I think, are just lonely and depressed in this show. But that was a lovely little moment as well. And, like, some battles he can't fix, some battles he can't win quite yet, and there are some people he can't help, like his mother, because that's just a different entire thing. You know, he's a teen wolf. He's not an adult wolf. He can't deal with adult problems yet. But maybe in time. Maybe they rename the show Adult Wolf in like season 5 or 6 or something. Is the movie called Adult Wolf? Maybe. Probably not. Middle-aged wolf. Elderly wolf. Probably not. Again. But all potential spin-offs for the future if you want to expand that universe. I would genuinely... I would watch the shit out of a show about an elderly werewolf. How hilarious. But yeah, I loved everything with that as well. Just like little moments like that, like really like, oh man. I do like that there's been a few like heart-wrenching moments in this. You know, oh man, that's really sucky. And exploring like, you know, it's far from a good life being a werewolf and stuff, but sometimes things you don't expect, like, oh, now you're very aware that your mother cries when she thinks she's alone. Like, how fucking sad is that realization for him to deal with? And it makes me sad as well because she needs to be protected. So, yeah, again, we'll see what happens with all of that and what other problems will plague Scott in times to come. But yeah, we are really set an interesting stage for the finale. I can't wait to see how this all gets wrapped up and how they set up the next seasons as well. How much we're going to learn about some characters, what reveals are going to come. Because the fact that Allison knows this early, you know, I think is really cool. But how is Chris going to respond to that? And like, surely he's not going to let Scott live. But also, there's 6 seasons in a movie, so you know, how's that dynamic going to work? Who can say? All I really know about the movie, in terms, you know, if we're going to talk about that, is I know Scott's in it, and I know there's talk about like the fact that Styles is not in it. So I guess Styles is kind of fine. I don't need to necessarily worry too much about him or Scott. So I'm not expecting Scott to die in the next one, is what I'm trying to get at, I guess, because, you know, that cliffhanger for him. But we'll see how it all wraps up. But I've really, really enjoyed this episode. Really enjoying this whole first season, really. I think it's been pretty damn strong. And I'm hoping the finale is going to really kind of carry the torch right through to the end and be pretty cool. So we shall see if that's the case next time. But yeah, I really, really loved this episode. Definitely one of my favourites, I think. And I'm excited for the finale to see where this has all been heading. So that is going to be next time. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.